Okay, so I wanted to show you a process of one of my illustrations I did for Yaya Kids at yayakids.com, where I did a bunch of their illustrations for their t-shirts. I did some for babies and boys and girls and moms, and you can see some of those here. Uh, and I'd really it'd be great if you could check these things out. They're really, really good. They're printed on really, really nice T-shirts, um, and uh, really like the way they turned out. So check those out when you have a moment at yayakids.com. And well, I did these, and then they recently called me about doing another T-shirt design, and it's kind of in conjunction with another organization, and it's actually a podcast, and they're having an event in Napa Valley, and this group is called Manic Mommies, and they have a podcast, and they have an Escape 2009 in Napa Valley this November. You can check their work, see what they're all about, and listen to their cool podcast at manicmommies.com. And they wanted me to do a T-shirt for that event. So, let's see. There's another one of those my shirts there. So I did a couple of sketches. They already have some ideas in mind of like, okay, Napa Valley. I want to show them wine tasting, and a really quick sketch, and this was the two hosts of the Manic Mommies, somewhat of a really rough likeness without me getting much reference. And here's another one with them doing karaoke, drinking wine, having a good time. And they didn't like the idea of being on the shirt, the two hosts of Manic Mommies. So we nixed this idea. But actually, before we did that, I did another sketch where I basically combined these two sketches. I combined the karaoke and the wine tasting into one where they're toasting and drinking wine and having a good time. And so they didn't like the idea of being on the shirt of all the moms coming to the event. So what we decided to do was something like this. And this is what I wanted to show you. This is a process of coloring this thing in Photoshop. I first did this is all pencil, graphite on just drawing paper, and about 11 by 17. And you can see how kind of rough it looks a little bit when you zoom into it. And so I've got everything worked out. My lovely wife posed for me on this, and I obviously had artistic license to change it all around, and had a good time. So they wanted to show this manic mommy, doing it all, shopping, having fun, listening to podcasts with a mess in the house, reading books and all sorts of good stuff. So what I did was I first did the sketch, I scanned that in, and then I started messing around with this is the shirt color. I already knew the shirt color, and this was going to be the background shape that we were going to be using. And then I added in some white to certain areas. Now let me explain what I'm doing here. What I'm doing is these each color, since this is a silkscreen shirt, I have separated all of these colors on separate layers. Now I know most of you might have say, well, no, you're supposed to do it in channels. Well, I tried doing it that way, and I couldn't get it to work. I couldn't paint that way in channels. So I had to first do these colors. It was a 7-color job in layers instead of channels. So I found it a lot easier, but it was still a challenge trying to know which layer I was on. Excuse me. So that was a challenge, trying to make sure that I was in the right color on the right layer each time when I was coloring this. So it was a lot of back and forth, but here's my layering process. I painted each one of these colors on a different layer with a kind of a painterly, watercolory type textured brush. I didn't want it to be, look airbrushy or anything. So these are the colors. It's like a yellow color. It's like a skin tone color. There's a olive green color. Then there's like these are all Pantone colors. This is like a maroon. I picked these from the Pantone color chart in Photoshop. And then here's a dark blue color. I needed to have a dark blue to kind of give me lots of rich shadows and color some things. And then here's a brown that goes over the top. I used the blue and the brown to create kind of a black color, a darker color. So hopefully those two will mix okay. And then one thing I have not added just yet is I have to combine the text into one channel, into the brown channel. So these two colors here, these two layers here, would be the brown layer, and I would just combine those by going boom, boom, and then Command E, and then I've got all of my browns on one layer. So you can see how I kind of built this up, and it's kind of different for me, and it was a fun challenge. So see how it prints out. It hasn't been printed yet, obviously, but we'll see how it goes. Let's see a little bit bigger. I'll show you. This is going to be silkscreen. It'll be really low res, but I did it high res, thinking maybe I'll have a print of it or something later. I showed it to the Manic Mommies and the Yaya kids, and they all loved it. But they actually decided to use a different shirt. They thought this would be more of like a limited edition type thing, but hopefully, I know it's going to be sold. I know it will be sold on yayakids.com eventually as a special limited edition print, a t-shirt, I should say, for moms. So if you're a Manic Mommy, whether you listen to the podcast or not, whether you're a single mom or a working mom or a really busy stay-at-home mom, whatever, this might be a good shirt for you. And it'll be on a shirt very similar to this one here that this Princess Puddle Jumper is on. It's kind of a bad low-res photo, but you can kind of see what kind of shirt that might be on. So check that out. Hope this is of some interest to you and help you out with different way of thinking in terms of what a different way of painting with for a t-shirt design. I hope you enjoy. Bye bye.